We'll now proceed to opening statements.
The long-awaited legal showdown in the Murdaugh murder trial.
Pow, pow. 2 shots, abdomen and the leg, and took her down.
Arguing 2 very different versions of the same story.
He didn't do it. He didn't kill Butcher, his son and wife.
Dramatic descriptions of his family's deaths at point bringing Murdaugh to tears. Opening statements given to a jury of 8 women and 4 men who will spend the next several weeks following the evidence.
They were shot at close range and they did not have defensive wounds.
Prosecutors say forensics will prove Murdaugh's guilt after a perfect storm of circumstances came to a head. The state contends Maggie was killed with a weapon owned by the family that was never recovered, and that a cell phone video captured at the murder scene just before the time of deaths puts Alec at the scene, contradicting his alibi that he only reached there when he discovered the bodies.
And he was there just minutes before, with Maggie and Paul, just minutes before their cell phones go silent forever and ever.
But the defense argues there's no forensic evidence to tie Murdaugh to the murders. No fingerprints, eyewitnesses, murder weapons, and despite the gruesome scene, no blood on Alec when police arrive.
You would be covered in blood from head to foot.
The defense argues a video taken earlier in the evening shows Paul and Alec enjoying time together, and that police pinned Alec as a suspect before investigating, even suggesting the crime may have been the work of 2 people because 2 different weapons were used.
They have pounded that square peg in the round hole, and you're going to hear about it. They've ignored some witnesses.
This morning, we expect the first witness in the trial to take the stand, all of this picking up a day after a powerful moment of opening statements. Opening statements in the Alex Murdaugh double murder trial began Wednesday with the state laying out its case against the disgraced South Carolina ex-lawyer.
You're going to hear other evidence from DNA, gunshot residue, firearms examiners. There's going to be a lot of forensic evidence in this case.
Murdaugh is charged in the 2021 murders of his wife Margaret and their youngest son Paul. Murdaugh has pleaded not guilty, claiming he was not at the home at the time of the murders and came home to find the pair shot to death near the kennels of their hunting property. Among the evidence from the state, a video that Paul recorded on his phone shortly before he was murdered, where you can allegedly hear his father's voice.
Told anyone who would listen he was never there. At 8:44. In 55 seconds, there's a video. The evidence will show that he was there.
Prosecutors claim Murdaugh killed them in order to hide a long list of alleged financial crimes, defrauding clients, co-workers, and family members out of nearly $9 million. Prosecutors also say neither victim had any defensive wounds and were shot at close range.
Neither one of them had any defensive wounds, as if they didn't see a threat coming from their attacker.
But Murdaugh's defense team says the state's case is weak and all based on theories.
There's no eyewitness. There's no forensics tying him to the murder. When I say forensics, fingerprints, blood, whatever, tying him to shooting anybody that night.
The defense attorney also describing the graphic nature of the killings. That was a moment where we saw Murdaugh become emotional. His attorney telling the jury to find Alec guilty, they'll have to accept that he would execute them in a brutal fashion. In Walterboro, South Carolina, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
The tiny town of Walterboro, South Carolina. Tonight, an epicenter of intrigue.
Do you have anything to say?
The widely watched murder trial of former attorney Alex Murdaugh, now underway. Murdaugh is charged with killing his wife Maggie and son Paul in June of 2021. His defense claims he's innocent, the killer's still at large. But prosecutors contend he snapped under the pressure of a secret life unraveling. His motive, they say, to garner sympathy and distract from a series of financial crimes, where Murdaugh stole millions of dollars from his family law firm and from clients.
It's a circumstantial evidence case.
Attorney Eric Bland represents the Satterfield family. Gloria Satterfield, Murdaugh's former housekeeper, died at his home in 2018, and Murdaugh confessed to stealing millions from an insurance settlement following her death. A cause of death was never determined and police are investigating, especially here in Low Country where Murdaugh is a household name.
Everybody says, well, we want jurors that don't know anything about this case.
That's impossible.
It's impossible.
One possible piece of evidence that jurors will need to take into account, a Snapchat video taken just before Paul and Maggie Murdaugh were killed. As jurors are vetted inside, outside, an invasion of cameras, tents, and trucks on every corner of the courthouse. Eyes wide as a man who once tried cases here as a prominent attorney awaits his fate in handcuffs. Lester?